Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to an extremely special episode of Nerdy for 30. I always say these episodes are special. This one's the most special of all of them. This is our year-end wrap-up. This is the 2022 Rennies, second annual. It's great to be here. Tim, what are you thinking coming into this most joyous of nights?
God, it is great to be here. Everyone looks great. Everyone's dressed to the nines. We've got stars, movers, shakers, big wigs from all over coming down here to enjoy the Rennies live. It's a real festive atmosphere. Really hope everyone gets to see it. What a year, Kevin. 2022. What a year for movies, for film, for excellence, for beefs, and for thieves.
All the categories. It's been a huge year for all of the categories, Tim. And for those of you who are at home asking, what the hell are the Rennies? Maybe you missed our first award show that we did actually still this year back in March. The Rennies are the Ryan Reynolds Award for Excellence in Film. This is our version of the Oscars. This is the highest award that we can possibly give out. But we're not just giving out the Ryan Reynolds Award for Excellence in Film tonight. We're giving out awards for 12 huge categories that we felt applied to all the movies that we watched since the last award show we did in March.
Yeah, all good stuff. Best fight scene, best trailer, worst movie. This episode, we're capping it off with the biggest beef award, so stay tuned for that. One of my favorites, a great way to, maybe a down note to end the first episode on. And
sure.
Part one of part two, the two Rennies.
Yeah, we do it. It's kind of like it's like an Infinity War trajectory where you end the first one real dour.
You're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Everyone's dust. And then the second movie starts and you're like, all right, Fat Thor. So that's where we're at.
When I showed Infinity War to my parents for the first time after raving about it for a while, the movie ended and the first thing my mom said was, well, that sucked. But Thanos isn't winning tonight. Who knows who will be winning in all these categories? Tim, are you ready to get to the first category?
Oh, more than ready. I'm lubed up and ready to roll.
All right. Well, on that note. Oh, we're cooking. First category up is Best Actor. Oh, now real quick, here's one other thing about the way the Rennies work. Tim and I each have our own nominees for these categories. We do not know each other's nominees. So we will be voting on the winner of each of these categories live on air, hearing each other's nominations for the first time right now. Tim, who are your nominations for Best Actor for 2022?
Okay, this was tough. This was tough for me. I think from the menu, Ralph Fiennes, I don't know his name, the chef.
Oh, it's actually, this is going to blow your mind. It's Ray Fiennes is how you pronounce
Fiennes?
that one.
That's his name's Ralph.
It's crazy. No one's ever explained it to me. Yeah.
Gosh, Ray Fiennes, so good, so fun. He makes that whole movie work. And it was one of my favorites of the year. Georgina Campbell, the lead in Barbarian. Fantastic, phenomenal. And Tatiana Maslany from She-Hulk. Those are my favorites. Those are my picks. Best
Interesting.
Actor. I do have an honorable mention I want to get to, but I want to hear what your choices are first.
Oh boy, I got an honorable mention too. I wonder if it's going to be the same person. All right, my nominations for Best Actor this year are Stephanie Hsu, who played Jobu Tobacco in Everything Everywhere All at Once, Amber Midthunder, who was the protagonist in Prey, and Tatiana Maslany from She-Hulk.
Ooh, okay. So we've got a shoe-in for sure.
Both got Tatiana on there.
Who was your honorable mention?
My honorable mention goes out to everyone that played a double in the Rehearsal on HBO Max. It was unbelievable. If you haven't seen Rehearsal, go on there. He has an entire cast of actors that are just training to play other real people that he's recorded on the show. And all joking aside, their performances as these real people are breathtaking. It is incredible the level of mimicry that they're able to accomplish in this. There's too many of them, and it's not acting in film, so I didn't want to give an official nomination there. But I mean, it had to be called out. Who's your honorable mention, Tim?
Mine was Nathan Fielder, because I wanted to talk about Nathan Fielder. Is Nathan Fielder a good actor? I think the bit is that he's not a good actor, but that's him acting. So like, it's a tangled web of like, how good is Nathan Fielder? He's crushing. I mean, if the goal of an actor, right, is to tell a story and to make you feel something, he's knocking both of those out of the park, with his performance, in addition to the writing and the editing and all of that. So I think he deserves to be mentioned in the conversation. Maybe since we're both talking about it, maybe just The Rehearsal wins Best Actor.
Oh,
we do the cast of The Rehearsal, because you're right. The cast is stacked. It's so cool. It's so fun. The extras are phenomenal. The kids are great. It's amazing. And can we even count it as acting if it's like the scenes where he's talking to the kid's mom? Because that's like some of the most intense stuff I've seen all year. Is she an actor? Is she an actor in the sense of like this movie?
I don't.
This show. It's a show. It's a TV show. She's an actor, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. The reality nature of it and the fact that he is basically improvising. So I think that's what I want to get to. That's going to be what determines whether or not I'm willing to give the cast The Rehearsal like a blanket award for this. Is, do you think that it's harder, or I guess more impressive, to do the extremely realistic acting that they're doing, like very, very naturalistic acting they're doing on there? Or do you think it's more impressive to be able to act in such a way that lets you carry a massive franchise? Because to run down my three official nominations, Stephanie Hsu is one of the most intimidating antagonists that I've ever seen on screen. She is amazing. She is so effectively capturing this vibe of like this eternal, infinite villain that has the ability to do anything that she wants to do. Amber Midthunder in Prey. We talked so much about how effective that movie was at not doing terrible exposition, like just completely showing, not telling. And I don't think that you can pull that off in a movie unless your cast is really good at conveying subtext. So like I think barely talks in that movie. Like
she's phenomenal. She is my nominee for another category coming up. I am a big fan of hers. I love her energy.
And then Tatiana Maslany is like, She-Hulk had so much stacked against it. And there are so many expectations that people bring into any of these Marvel properties. And Tatiana Maslany just knocked it completely out of the park. Like the charisma she brings.
She's so good. She's so funny. I like felt bad for her, like in the moments where you're supposed to feel bad. I was like, oh no, you can't hurt her. I mean, she's just so good. She's incredible. She put on like an insane performance in this series. I really liked She-Hulk, and I think it's mostly just because of her.
Yeah.
Like she carries it. So for me, it's Tatiana Maslany or like the cast of The Rehearsal. And
these are both gargantuan undertakings that these people underwent.
These are equally impressive feats, I think. If we look at the entire, I don't know if this is the right way to look at what's supposed to be an individual reward. But what's more impressive, the acting of like all the extras and the cast of like The Rehearsal? Because that's like one entity almost. It's like, it's so crazy. But like, is it acting? Is the scene where we see the guy go to trivia, is that guy an actor? Not really. But everyone else in that scene is an actor.
I know, and everybody else in the scene is so good. Every time I think about one, I think about a perfect counterpoint. For Tatiana Maslany, I was thinking of the scene that could have been just a fucking cringeworthy, awful joke in the finale of She-Hulk when she's like, yeah, when am I going to get the X-Men? And throws like her tongue out at the camera. Such an endearing moment that could have been like me turning the TV off in disgust. She made into like a wonderful character thing. But then I think about The Rehearsal and the guy playing the cop when the street is shut down and they're trying to feed the guy. And he's like, it's days like these I curse the Chinese for inventing gunpowder. That is like the most, it's an impossible line and he delivers it real. I think I got to give it to The Rehearsal.
It's perfect. Oh my God. Because that's so funny because I feel like you just convinced me the other way. I'm good either way because I had so much hatred in my heart for the She-Hulk finale. And you're right. She's going there and turning the camera. When are we getting the X-Men? And I absolutely hated that moment, but I never hated Tatiana for doing it. I was still like a fan of her. She sold it.
Yeah.
It was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And she sold it as well as you can sell dumb shit. So, gosh, I don't know. Either one. I'm good with either one, Kevin. What are you leaning towards?
Oh my God. You know what? Tatiana Maslany did an unbelievable job in She-Hulk, but she already had been on TV. She had some wins. All the people in the cast of The Rehearsal, this is the biggest break they've ever had. This one goes out to the little guy.
I love it. Best actor, the cast of The Rehearsal, plus Nathan Fielder. Nathan Fielder's in there.
Nathan Fielder is for sure in there. Everybody on the show, The Rehearsal.
Tatiana might come up later. We don't know.
She probably will.
She's a gem. Ugh, what a tough year. Any other year she wins.
Yeah, any other year. Okay, so next up we have our first user-submitted category. We put up a call on Instagram for categories that we should add to this year's awards. This one comes from our pal Pat Wise. You might have heard him on our Batman episode last year. Pat pitches Horniest Moment.
Love it. God bless Pat.
God bless
Kevin,
Pat.
you want to kick this one off?
That horny man. Absolutely. All right. My nomination.
Go into as much detail as you want to.
Okay.
Take your time. Spell it out for us.
My nominations for Horniest Moment in 2022 are the beach football scene in Top Gun Maverick.
Oh my God. I can't believe I left that off. I didn't
Glenn
think of
Powell.
that. Oh my God.
Let me put it this way. People learned Glenn Powell's name because of what he looked like with his shirt off in that scene.
I moaned it several times that night.
The whole scene exists just to tell you that Tom Cruise is still virile. He may be old, but he's still chucking that football on that beach with the young guns. So beach football scene in Top Gun Maverick. Number 2, I didn't say it was good, horny. The hot dog finger sucking and everything everywhere all at once. Deeply, deeply uncomfortable. Deeply horny.
Oh.
And the 3rd, I don't know how you're going to find a moment that was hornier than this. Allison meeting Corey in Halloween Ends.
That's what
Dude, it made no sense. Chemistry was entirely manufactured, but for some reason, those two were horned up. So I know you have that one. What other 2 do you have?
Oh, I definitely had that one. She was down to go the whole. She was fucking thirsty in that movie. In the horniest character I've ever seen in my life. She was begging for it the whole time. It was gratuitous. It was uncomfortable to watch. It was phenomenal.
For him. She was begging for this weird ass man. It's not like she was just trying to hook up with any guy. It's like, yeah, this
oh yeah,
weird. You could tell he smelled bad. Like
he didn't shower. His breath was bad. He got his ass beat by like 3 band kids. Like this guy sucked. This guy had 0 redeemable qualities, and she wouldn't have jumped his bones faster. It was phenomenal. I feel like for Horniest Moment, I wanted to say the She-Hulk Daredevil hookup. I thought it was great
as well.
Daredevil even like walking away with his like boots after. I loved it. I thought their chemistry was so good. I really loved it. I think they kind of made the Daredevil like character like a little more corny, definitely more corny than we've seen him. But it was also fun. I thought they got along so well, and I really hope we see more of them together.
Oh,
also, I don't think we can talk horny without a shout out to Sarah Jessica Parker and Hocus Pocus, because
shit,
she is having a great time. I'm feeling things. She's feeling things. Just an all around good time with Sarah Jessica Parker crushed in Hocus Pocus. I mean, it was a sexual awakening for all of us, I think.
Oh my God.
I don't know if I can narrow that down to one moment specifically, but she's great. She's great. She's flirting with all the boys. You know, peak Sarah Jessica Parker for sure for me. But what are you thinking? Halloween, Halloween, I don't think anything comes close to Allison and Halloween. It's like it's not even close. She is so gung-ho on this guy. It is brutal. Oh my God. You know they filmed a sex scene.
Oh, that's the most deeply uncomfortable thing that I think I can picture.
And he has the mask on?
Which one? I'm coming into this also fully aware that this is probably the one that we nominated that the least people have seen. And
Yes.
you need to understand, if you haven't seen this movie, don't watch the movie, but you need to understand how clear cut this is as a winner. This is no conversation.
It's not even close. It's brutal. Oh my God.
Oh. All right. Well, that was a nice one. So lock it in. Allison Meets Corey and Halloween Ends.
Beautiful. Yes,
Horniest
lock it
Moment
in.
of 2022. Wow. I'm
stuff.
skeeved out just thinking about that one again.
I'm not getting up for a while.
No, because you have an erection. All right,
Because
next
I have an
up,
erection
Tim,
thinking about
is
it.
one of our absolute favorites.
Yes.
As a podcast that spends a lot of time talking about fight scenes, the category of best fight scene holds a lot of weight to us. Tim, what are your 3 nominations for this year for best fight scene?
This one was really tough. Very tough, I think. I'm going to say honorable mention. I had Violent Night. I think there's a couple of scenes you could have done from it. And that, I think it just shows how intense this category is, that it's like not in there, because the Home Alone scene and the shed scene on their own are phenomenal. Honestly, there's a string of things in there that are insane. Him stabbing the guy with the top of the Christmas tree and electrifying him through his eye socket. Incredible. I still have it secondary to the big 3. Thor fighting on the Shadow Planet, I thought was so cool. I thought that looked amazing. For me, I love Thor. I actually like Love and Thunder a lot. I thought it got serious. You know, he was cracking jokes and it felt very real and there were stakes. And I was like, oh shit. When it ends, I was like, what the fuck? Where are they going to go now? I love that scene. Day Shift, the fight scene with the brothers.
The brothers
in the house.
About that one.
It's amazing. Like the only reason Day Shift was even written is because they had this like stunt director who was going to do the scene with the brothers who were fucking awesome. And they're like spitting gum in each other's mouths. And then they go inside and they're just staking everybody. All their weapons are like, it's like a wood stake that pulls out to be another wood stake or something like that. Or like nunchucks that are wood stakes. It was just like crazy. And then that one scene where they catch the bullet and just flip and spin. It was mind blowing. So great. I think my favorite for this is from The Boys. And it's the fight scene in the Hero-gasm house.
Oh, yeah.
When they're all ganging up on Homelander, and like just story-wise, it's like the first time Homelander is like legit scared and they're like kicking his ass and he runs. Just the feelings evoked by that. I don't know if that's like technically the best fight scene. It doesn't hold a candle to Day Shift, doesn't hold a candle to Thor, but storytelling wise, I thought it was so awesome. And it was a moment I was just anticipating so much. And for a second I was like, oh my God, are they going to do it? And I that's one of my favorites, dude. What'd you get? What'd you have?
Oh, those are so good.
Best
those
fight scene.
3 that I'm so sad to not have put on my list.
Oh my God, you didn't.
No, we had no overlap on this outside of an honorable mention for Violent Night.
Yeah.
I had, first off, from RRR, the fight where they're on each other's shoulders.
Yes.
Is just a blast. The idea that bizarre, clumsy combination could somehow make the two of them stronger than the sum of their parts is like a great encapsulation of the logic of the world of that movie. And it's so charming. Like I had such a blast watching that. Oh my God, that was so much fun. The big one for me for RRR overall is the Raju fence fight, where one dude like whips a bottle over the fence in the beginning of the movie. And this is a massive crowd of people, like thousands of people. And Raju points down one guy and launches over the fence and fights off hundreds of people to get to this one motherfucking guy. That scene is unreal. It comes super early in the movie. That's the one where I'm like, if you are making Captain America New World Order and you want like some kind of a fight scene that's going to make people be like, wow, Sam Wilson is Captain America, you give him something like this. Nobody's ever going to question it again. I could have gone 3 for 3 on RRR, but I did want to give one more shout out. My third one so far to Everything Ever All at Once. The pinky finger fight was again,
that was cool.
Just some next level fun logic. I think that's the thing for me is I love that like extra little twist on top of it that's going to give the fight scene some oomph. But
yeah, the fights and everything everywhere all at once were pretty great, especially when they're like picking up powers from other places. That's very cool, very fun. God, RRR. I didn't even think of the first fight scene in it. When I thought of it, I thought of the scene you mentioned. I thought of the very end of the movie, and then I thought of the scene where the guy has like the truck full of animals and it turns and he just leaps out of the truck. Like there's so much going on in that movie. Oh, it's so good. I think it's hands down the first scene in RRR. I think now that you mention it, it's like not even close. We spent like the whole episode talking about it. We were begging other characters to have that. It was phenomenal. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. It was so fun. So good. So badass.
Ready to lock it in?
Let's lock it in.
All right. Best fight scene of 2020-22 is the fence scene at the beginning of RRR. Man. Yeah, I love that one so much. I do want to, while we're on the topic of it though, I learned something really cool about that Thor fight scene. Did you watch the like Disney behind the scenes thing on Thor Love and Thunder?
No, should I?
I don't know. It's fun. It's a little long, but there are some fun things in there. One of which is they're talking about that fight scene and those like stop motion looking monsters that show up in that fight scene. What they wanted to do, because there's such a focus on like children in the movie and things that are scary to children, is the people in the production design team asked their children to draw the scariest monster they could think of. And then they took those drawings and modeled them as characters. And those are the monsters that are going after Thor. Isn't that the coolest shit in the world?
That's the best thing I've ever heard. I think that's a better movie than people. I feel like everyone's shit on that movie. I think it's pretty damn cool. I liked it. I had fun. God, guys, Marvel's great. What are we even talking about? I love Marvel. Get out of here. If we have another guest who's like on a Marvel pod who's like, oh, I actually haven't seen all the movies. Fuck off. Fuck off, everybody. Honestly, if you're listening to this and you haven't watched Ant-Man 3 times, like, go to hell.
Danny, we love you.
Danny.
Please don't take this personally.
It's every Marvel. Every time we have anyone on to talk about a Marvel movie, they're like, well, I haven't seen the last 4 phases, but
stands.
Danny back for Dune.
From here on
Danny
out.
back for Dune.
Danny back for Dune. Confirmed.
Hashtag. Get the hashtag going. Danny back for Dune.
They love it. All right, next one up. This is another user submitted category. This one comes from Lauren Moore, close friend to the show.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the Basil Exposition Award for telling, not showing.
Hello, Austin. I'm Basil Exposition with British Intelligence.
Basil Exposition, of course, the expository character in the Austin Powers franchise. We always talk on the show about how we want to see more showing, less telling. Less of this text, give us more subtext. This award goes to the most egregious examples of the exact opposite of what we want. This is people who seem to have no idea that subtext even exists. Or maybe they just want to get it all out there so that they can start the damn movie already. Tim, what were your nominees for the Basil Exposition Award?
Okay, I feel like this is a comment that I make all the time, but actually remembering what those were, I think I've just tuned them all out of my memory. I just wrote down Morbius, Moon Knight, Day Shift. I was like, all 3 of these, just so much talking and not doing. I think I had Day Shift on the brain because the whole thing with Day Shift explaining the vampires, they spent so much time talking about vampires and it just meant nothing. It was all just complete nonsense. It was just, well, it's weird that the Western, they're describing them like snakes or something. Like, it's weird the copperheads are hanging out here with the rattlesnakes. It doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't see that in this climate. It was the worst. And on top of that, they spent a large chunk of the movie talking about a big bad that wasn't even in the movie, which I thought was one of the most egregious things ever. Absolutely offensive. Moon Knight, I felt similarly about. Morbius, I felt similarly about. I think you've come a little bit more correct with specific examples, though, right?
I have a couple audio clips. Morbius also on my list. My thing about Morbius is how much of that movie he spends just giving us bat facts. I have a clip on that one.
It's impressive, don't you think? Vampire bats weigh almost nothing, but they can down a creature nearly 10 times their size.
he just slowly drips out little things of like, oh, I bet this is going to be a Morbius power later. I couldn't get an audio clip for this one, but another one from Halloween Ends. There's a scene in the beginning of that movie where Jamie Lee Curtis recaps the entire franchise. And then we cut out and she's writing a book about her experiences.
Oh my God.
It was horrible, but
we're going to see the rosebuds or whatever.
The cherry blossoms in Japan.
The cherry blossoms.
The worst thing that could come out of this is that people would feel like they need to watch Halloween Ends. Please don't watch Halloween Ends. I don't want them getting any more money for this.
I'm going to be bringing up Halloween Ends so many times during this. I'm going to be talking about Halloween Ends this whole show. It's so brutal. It deserves so much hate, so much love.
I got one more nominee for Telling Not Showing. I think this is the most egregious example we might have seen all year. I have an audio clip. This is Billy Bob Thornton talking to Ryan Gosling in the opening scene of The Gray Man. I want to point out the only edit that I made to this clip was that I took out little gaps of silence just so that we could fit this clip in a reasonable amount of time, because this takes place over the span of like a minute, but I did not add or subtract pieces in between. This is the real flow of dialogue.
Wow.
I'm just going to cut to the chase. My name is Donald Fitzroy, and I'm here to commute your sentence. What's the catch? You work for us. Who's us? The CIA. We're going to train you to kill bad guys. And since you've already killed one, it shouldn't be too difficult. You'd be part of an elite unit, the Sierra program. You would exist in the gray. Disposable? I've studied your case. I know why you pulled that trigger. I would have done the same thing myself.
10 beats of info.
God, that's it for sure. Yeah, the gray was rough, man, and it opened strong in a rough way. Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
Basil Exposition Award for 2022.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. The Gray Man might be coming up again here later in a little bit too.
The Gray Man deserves a lot of noms in this.
It sure does. This next one is a super fun category. Tim, you at one point pitched this as like an entire standalone podcast. I think this is a brilliant idea. This relates to almost every movie we talked about this year. Do you want to introduce the audience to Best Trailer, Worst Movie?
Best Trailer, Worst Movie, in theory, is you see the trailer, you're excited, you're like, holy shit, this is going to be awesome. And then the movie sucks. And it's the goal is to find just the biggest gap between like how hyped the trailer makes you and how poorly received the movie is. Kevin, do you want to kick this one off?
With nominations? Absolutely. I know at least one of these is going to piss you off, but not nearly as bad as it pissed me off. The first one, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, earlier this year on this podcast, we recorded a soft pilot for a segment we were going to be doing called Hype Train, where the whole thing was that when like a really big Marvel movie is coming out, we were going to do one of these Hype Train episodes beforehand, talking about like leaks from the set and things that we think might happen in the movie. We built up so much hype. I take the blame. I built up so much hype.
I wrote this down. I wrote this down, honorable mention. I just have to mention this because Kevin, I was like, if you weren't going to be man enough to bring this up yourself, I was like, I'm going to have to call Kevin out on this because this doesn't even belong in this category. It's purely you. You got in your own head about this. You hyped yourself up too much. You jumped the shark before you even watched the trailer. You were
Strange
done.
Still belongs. The stuff that we were hearing, the quote unquote leaks, Tom Cruise's Iron Man, these things that never came to be. I'd gotten myself so hyped up. Part of the reason I was that hyped is because of how good this trailer was. This trailer seemed like it was going to be like a Civil War level dramatic piece. And the movie that we got, I don't think was bad, but it was so different from the movie that I expected that I had no choice but to be super disappointed. It really deflated me. It changed my Marvel fandom forever.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Well, I've converted you to no trailers.
You have.
The no trailer policy. Yeah.
I did watch Guardians. I did cave. It's, I can't go cold turkey on this, but I'm going to do it slowly. My next nominee for Best Trailer Worst Movie is Wakanda Forever. Similar thing.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a very good one.
Trailer looked like it was going to be like this big, like triumphant thing they had all right by Kendrick kind of laced in. It was like, oh my God, this is going to start somber and then it's going to explode. And it just stays somber the whole time. Again, not a bad movie, but the trailer, I feel like, just promised me something very different. And I wanted what I thought I was going to get. And I've had to kind of adjust to what we actually got. So trailer definitely threw me off on that one. The third one, the one that's really going to piss you off, Tim, Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
That trailer looked
just
unbelievable.
not accurate.
I think
the movie was
society's
unbelievable.
on my side.
I don't know.
The movie was okay. But again, the movie didn't take itself seriously whatsoever. And the trailer looked like it was going to be so serious that it was like a total tonal mismatch. At this point, I'm just assuming that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is going to be like Anchorman 3. There's no any of these things that look like they're going to be dramatic are just going to be like these little farces.
I think I'm just a soft touch with Marvel. Like all the Marvel movies I'm excited about. I'm happy with all of them. You know, the shows they're still figuring out, but you know, I liked Doctor Strange a lot. The trailer looked awesome. I wasn't disappointed with the trailer at all. What was the other one you just said?
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever. There was a moment in the trail at the end of the trailer. It wasn't the first trailer. I think it was like another trailer they released where they started showing like Ironheart and some other stuff where I was like, oh shit, am I going to like this movie? You know? And so I think that's definitely in there. I think that one deserves some attention. I had Doctor Strange written down.
Ooh.
Halloween Ends. I just want to mention again, because that movie was so god awful. The trailer, I would say, is also bad. I rewatched the trailer. I think I was really excited for Halloween Ends because I didn't watch the trailer. I was just like, oh, this is going to be fun. I wanted it so bad to be good. It was not. The Morbius trailer is actually pretty tight.
No,
the music's good.
Come on.
The trailer is okay.
Strange.
Yeah, people are strange. I rewatched it and I'm like, this isn't a bad trailer. It shows everything cool about the movie is in this trailer, but the trailer is actually pretty good. And considering how absolutely awful it is, I think that's a good nominee. I think my best argument for this is Black Adam. And the trailer for Black Adam, very cool. It's a very cool trailer. And you and I talking before Black Adam, it's going to suck. Of course, it's going to be bad. The Rock's a terrible actor. We know it's going to be bad. It's going to be terrible. Every week, we're like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Right before we saw Black Adam, I think we had a moment where we were both like, is this going to be good? I watched the trailer. I saw Pierce Brosnan. I saw Hawkman. I was like, shit, is this going to be sweet? The Justice Society of America. I mean, The Rock is a terrible actor. He says like 4 lines in the trailer, and they're by far his best acting line. Like they must have hobbled it together just from like random takes that probably weren't even in the movie. They just picked like the 4 lines he said like a human being and plucked them in. The trailer looks sweet. It looks like we're going to have a Justice Society versus Black Adam. I mean, I got hyped just watching the trailer again, and that movie blows. So those are my nominees. I think a lot of stuff could win. We could do Doctor Strange just because of your own ignorance, I guess, your own folly. We could do Doctor Strange as just a morality lesson, like a lesson to everybody else, like not to follow in your footsteps.
So that one's me losing, to clarify. That would basically be the Hype Train episode being treated as the trailer.
It would basically be an argument that we're never doing the Hype Train thing again.
Well, that's for sure. We're never doing it again. I think for more than just pride, maybe it's Black Adam. This is a movie that I was so sure the whole time is going to suck. But you're totally right that when we were at the bar at the theater right beforehand, enough had been shown to me that I was like, maybe The Rock has something he hasn't shown us yet. Maybe there's something in here.
Maybe this is awesome. I can't believe it. It's embarrassing to say now, but right before Black Adam, I had my hopes were up. I was excited for Black Adam. And like the first week, I feel like the box office did pretty good. It seemed like people were kind of like the reviews were pretty good. And it sucked. It was bad. But Gosh, I kind of got into it a little bit. Black Adam. I think Black Adam's a good nominee, and it saves you a little face. So should we lock in Black Adam?
Let's lock it in. Best trailer, worst movie for 2022 is Black Adam.
Black Adam. Congratulations. Well deserved.
Well deserved. Oh, man. All right. So we got one more for this half of the Rennies 2022 before we break for the second half. This category is a very special category. On the show, if you've listened before, you know that we do two main segments on the show. Just two, that's all. Beefs and thieves. Beefs are what about the movie we wish we could change? What kind of spoiled it for us, you know? What's just not working? So to close out the first half of this, we have the Biggest Beef Award presented by Arby's. Now, Tim, I don't know if you realize this, but right now, if you go to Arby's, you can get 10 roast beef sandwiches for $5. That is 10 roast beef sandwiches. I don't think they have cheddar on them, but you can get them for $5.
You can buy your own cheddar, slap it on there, and you still got yourself a deal. And I know what you're thinking at home listening. Well, this roast beef can't be good if they're giving away 10 pounds of it for $5. No, they've got a cow in the back. They're scraping these shavings off, and they're slapping them right on the grill for yours truly. This is phenomenal, phenomenal food. You know, honestly, I like the chicken tendies there. I love all the sauces. The honey mustard, you know, I get a little roast beef sandwich, put some Arby's sauce in there. Oh, dude, I got real into horsey sauce this year.
Horsey sauce, I was just going to bring up.
I love horsey sauce. Oh, slap it on a roast beef and call me Mary. I'm having a great goddamn time at Arby's. And I think you will too. Check it out, the sponsor of this year's Arby's Biggest Beef Award.
Thank you very much, Tim. And thank you very much, Arby's, for sponsoring this category for the second year running.
God bless.
Let's dig into it. My three nominations for the Biggest Beef this year are number 1, Shuri became Black Panther instead of Okoye. I think pretty relatable one. We've talked so much about how it makes so much more sense for Okoye's character arc than Shuri's. I understood that Shuri did it in the comics. I thought we were going to maybe get a scene where Shuri was Black Panther briefly. We even saw her in the trailer. I was like, this is a misdirect for sure. It's going to be Okoye. Okoye gets booted out of the Dora Milaje. I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be a redemption arc. It's happening. It's really happening. I'm so excited for this. By the end of the movie, Okoye is not the Black Panther. Sure he is. Beef number 1. Beef number 2, The Rock won't play a heel anymore.
Yes.
Black Adam would have been a different movie if The Rock was willing to play a heel. I have no idea why he's so famous. He's apparently the most famous person on the planet. And yet, he thinks playing a villain in something is going to like be a hit to his reputation. It's ridiculous. I can't believe it.
He's a business now. And he was never an actor, but he's a business. So he has to he's making choices for Rock and C or the $6 club or whatever it is. $7 in my pocket.
God, I hope his fucking shareholders are happy. But my third nomination for the Biggest Beef of 2022. Earlier this year, we covered the movie Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Oh, wow.
This is a deep pull. This is a movie that I have not thought about since we covered it. And I was going through the list and I was like, oh, I definitely have a beef with this one. If you haven't seen the movie like most people, the plot of the movie centers around the fact that there is an election that has to take place in the wizarding world.
Yes.
And apparently the way these elections take place is that there is one little animal. It's like a little fawn of this thing called like a quillin. And they have this one special quillin, and they get all the candidates together, release the quillin in front of them, and then whichever one the quillin walks to is who is truly pure enough to lead the entire wizarding world. You would think that like they would have democracy, like something. I don't know if there's like wizarding primaries that get the people onto the stage in the first place in front of the quillin. The whole thing seems super fucked up. The plot of the movie centers around one of these, the quillin that's going to be used in the ceremony is like killed, and then while it's dead, they trick it. They like change its brain so that it will go toward Grindelwald. Like the only way that they can get this thing through is if they like kill this thing and fuck with its brain. And then they bring this zombie quillin before the entire wizarding world and let it go. It was insane. I cannot believe it. This movie was made. Nobody stopped it. It's nuts. So that's my third biggest beef. Tim, what do you got?
That's a good one. That's a good one. Honorable mention, Michael Myers just not being in Halloween 3.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Shit. You said it was going to come
Halloween
back.
Ends. I think it might be the last time I mention it, but it's insane that he's just not in this. Halloween Ends is just such a complete miss that it's shocking and offensive. Maybe that's a real nominee. Okay. My next nominee, just Ryan Gosling as a human being, as a person having to watch him. Just not crazy. We had to sit through it twice. The Gray Man, The Nice Guys. I mean, talk about a snooze fest. This guy is just a truly unremarkable human being.
I'm just going to start censoring this. I'm editing that entire take out.
My next beef is that you, Kevin Bauer, put the Munsters on our poll, and we had to fucking watch that movie. That movie sucked so goddamn hard. It wasn't even fun suck. It was like years off my life suck. That was goddamn awful. And that's just that's not even a part of the show. That's a personal beef I have with you that will affect our relationship going forward. I will never be able to look you in the eye the same way that I did before you put that on that poll, and then you taunted people when was winning. Your pride, your goddamn hubris got in our way. It was like Doctor Strange. It was like the Doctor Strange hype train again. It was just Kevin. You got two. 2023 will be a year of humbling for you. I think we're just gonna have to knock you back
Oh my God.
No, these are the only two. These are the only two times you've ever overreached, and they're both awful. My biggest beef is just Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who gives a shit? That is one of the worst things that's ever happened. It makes no goddamn sense. It's a fucking prequel with no stakes that has no ramifications on anything. The fights made no sense. The story made no sense. It was absolute bullshit. A complete waste of time. I'm not watching Andor. I'm not watching Star Wars anymore. I am fucking done with Star Wars. You stupid motherfuckers. Keep making these movies. Keep throwing them in the trash. I'm done watching it. Oh, but Andor's the best thing they've ever done. Well, then they should have done it 10 fucking years ago before they turned out 3 pile of shit movies and just a show that nobody gives a shit about. They struck gold one time with The Mandalorian. They can't even recreate that shit to save their lives. Boba Fett fucking blew. Then Obi-Wan Kenobi, who gives a shit? Give us anything new. And now they're going to bring back Rosario Dawson to do something. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Star Wars, you suck. I'm done. I'm just done.
If we had the ability to do like a video post-credit scene for this episode, it would be Spencer Pazer at the time of this recording, and he just gets a chill, and someone's like, "What happened?" He's like, "I sensed a great disturbance in the force."
Yeah, we gotta have him back on a more positive note, because God, yeah, I feel like I really hurt him with my Kenobi takes, but I'm not wrong. It sucked. It was a waste of time, and he's been begging me to watch Andor. I think I'm legit done with Star Wars, Kevin. I don't know what it would take for me to watch Star Wars again. Maybe another season of I would watch Mandalorian if it came out. I don't know what else they could do.
The next thing that's coming out. You're like, I don't know what would possibly get me back. The next thing that
is
comes
it really?
out,
Is it coming out?
I'll be there. Yeah, February, dude. Well,
then I guess I'll be there. I'll be there with bells on. I'm ready for the Mandalorian. Give it to me. I'm not excited about it. I would watch it.
He said you're going to be there with bells on. The bells are just so Spencer can hear you coming.
Yeah, he can hear me talking shit, cursing, fucking mad the whole time.
Oh, yeah, my God.
I don't know. I think I'm still there with Mandalorian. It's going to take a heck of a lot for me to watch another Star Wars property. It just will. It's fucking done. It's embarrassing. It's bad. I mean, I understand now the way some people feel about Marvel, right? Where they're just like, I'm done. It's all the same stuff. It's, just like repetitive. I'm at that point with Star Wars. It's just a waste of time. The Star Wars is the Ryan Gosling of what is it? An empire. It's a theme. It's a universe. Yeah. Star Wars is like if an entire universe was made out of Ryan Gosling. Sure, there were 3 good movies maybe, but then And the rest of it was crap.
Oh my
I don't know.
God.
Kenobi just did so much lasting damage on my psyche and my relationship with a property that I used to appreciate that I don't know. I resent it. I hate it. And I feel like giving it an award sponsored by Arby's is almost too great a compliment to it.
This is incredible. So I think the thing that we have the most overlap on is The Rock refusing to play a heel anymore. But I did have Kenobi on my original list, like when I was whittling it down, just because there was so much Leia in it.
Oh my God, I forgot about Leia.
We can't do all shows where it's somebody who's like a grizzled veteran of these fights that has to take care of a child. Like, doesn't work. And hearing how passionate you are still after all these years,
after all this
about
time,
how much you hated Kenobi. I think
like
it's
Snape.
Kenobi.
I'm like Snape at the end of the Harry
Always.
Potter series when it's like, always. Do you still hate him? Always. I'll be on my deathbed being like, yo, fuck Kenobi. My kids will be like, grandchildren will be like, what's Disney Plus? Why do you keep talking about it? I'll be like, there was a show that ruined everything that came before it. It ruined our lives. It's the reason why they don't know what Disney Plus is, Kenobi.
Do you want to make it official?
Let's lock it in. Kenobi, fuck you. The Arby's biggest beef award. Lock it in.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the first half of the Rennies 2022. Tim needs to go take a walk. He's going to have to cool off. We're going to record again in a couple days after he's cleared his head.
I need time. I need time to get over. I haven't healed. You know what I learned just now is I haven't healed.
I
thought I was getting better.
Healed? The Rock. Gang, thank you so much for listening to this. Come back for the second half. We have a couple things like healed, like a play on words. Heeled.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, you know,
Nice.
It was great. We'll have better jokes than that in the second half. Till you listen to that, stay nerdy, everybody.
Stay nerdy. Bye. The other episode's like going to be out like right now too, so you can just listen to that.
Yeah, it's just gonna. If you keep listening right now, it's just gonna come on. So
It might play unless you have another thing queued up.
Right.
But, you know, if you want more, you can get more now.
Right. Yeah.
Bye.